Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please go ahead and subscribe. And for those who are returning, thank you for coming back once again. But today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make my chili. It's the season, so let's get into this video.
There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be, but they're not gonna see me bleed.
We're going to start off by seasoning the beef with a little bit of salt. I use Himalayan. And then we're going to go into it with a little bit of pepper. Make sure you season to your own specific taste. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to transfer it into a skillet. And we're going to just let it set to the side. Put it on low, kind of let it simmer until we're ready to add it to the other part of the mixture. In a separate pot, I'm going to be using 1 box of vegetable broth, bring it to a boil, and then add 1 cup of lentil. Lentils are the base of my chili. Lentils don't take very long to cook, so once they are done, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the rest of my base ingredients. I use 2 medium cans of tomato sauce, but if you want to use less, you really can get away with using 1. Normally I use a lot of kidney beans, but when I went to the store they didn't have them, so I went ahead and got 2 cans of the red beans. I absolutely love black beans in my chili, so I went ahead and added 3 cans of those in addition to the other beans. But again, the lentils are very thin, so they're going to help with the mix and base. I cut up 1 red pepper, 1 green pepper, and then I rough chopped an entire yellow sweet onion, but you can use whatever onion you like. It's already smelling delicious, and just hang in there with me guys, we are almost there. I only used 2 containers of mushrooms. If it was just for me, I would use a lot more, probably 4, just to make it chunky. But since the rest of the people in my family don't like mushrooms, I just cut that amount in half. This is where I go ahead and give it a quick little stir to try to mix things up as much as possible before I start adding on all my herbs and seasonings. I use 1 full container and then 3 of the separate packages of the chili powder. Can't go wrong with onion powder. Must add the cayenne pepper. It doesn't make it spicy, just gives it a little kick. We're gonna go ahead and dabble a little bit of turmeric in this thing. So y'all know I'm a Kentucky girl, so it only makes sense to be using bourbon smoked paprika, made right here in Kentucky. Thank me later. Just thank me later. This is where I add a little bit more salt to the base, and then I add some pepper, but I just want to let you all know that I do not add any more seasonings to this until it has simmered for at least 2 hours. That way I can get a good idea of what it needs. If I need to add anything in it at that time, I would do it, but you have to let it cook for a while before you can know that, because you don't want to over season it, you don't want to under season it. So my chili takes a long time to cook. I do not rush it. I will literally let my stuff simmer anywhere between 5 to 7 hours. Okay, so this is where I add 1/3 of the vegetable broth. Then I put in my tomato paste. I also add miso flour to my mixture. This is something I've been doing for years. It helps with that texture, gives it that nice hearty chili texture. I love it. If you disagree, then you can just leave it off, but this is how I make my chili that everybody loves so much. So my husband left me this cute little text that said chili time. I ignored it at first. And then one day he went to work and there was a paper note sitting on my desk that said chili time. So I called him and I said, "Are you trying to tell me it's chili time?" LOL. He wanted some chili really bad, so that's why I'm making this chili today. You know how most people say that your chili tastes better the next day? I guess because all the seasonings has set in. Well, what I do is I cook my chili on low for a long time. That gets the flavor of the next day the same day. That's why I get up and I get started early. Absolutely delicious. So if you don't want to wait, cook it longer. Just in case you were wondering, well, where's the meat? Well, the meat is here and we're getting ready to put it together. But before we do that, what I do is I take my portion of the chili and I separate it into a separate pot. That's the reason why I made the pot so full, because a lot of that was going to be gone, and then I'm going to add the meat to the bigger pot for the boys. So anytime I make chili, I don't just make chili for that day. I also make chili for the future. I separate the chili so they'll have enough to eat for 2 days, because you know, you don't want to eat chili every day for a week. And then the rest of it I separate into other 2-day meals and I put it in a freezer. That way throughout the winter or colder months, if we just had a taste for chili, we can just pull it out of the freezer, unthaw it, and voila, it's done. And plus in the wintertime, I don't know about you guys, but I don't always want to cook every day. So I like to kind of store some things away for an emergency situation. So after I transfer all the meat to the base, this is where I let it cook for at least no less than 5 hours. That's not including the time that it's already been cooking. During each process, it's been simmering. So it probably cooked for a total of between 7 and 9 hours. But trust and believe me that when it was time to eat it, all the seasonings and the flavors were already settled in, so it was ready to go. I didn't record this part, but I took 2 handfuls of cheese and I put it in each base, and then I added sour cream and stirred it up really, really good, and then let it simmer into the base. This is a bonus to your chili. So if you want fire chili, do it the way I tell you. Okay, so look at that color. And yes, I'm a chili genius. Now take your spoon and give it a little taste. But don't go smacking anybody's mama, because we do not promote violence over here. Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. Remember, keep hustling, be humble, and this is your reality. So go ahead and make this chili and then leave something in the comments and tell me what you think.